What's up, y'all? We back at it, and we just got the first two episodes of your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Now, usually I don't really cover stuff like this on the channel, but hey, yo, man, you know what I'm saying? I've seen other people talking about how they really dislike the animation and how they think the show is gonna suck and stuff. So I had to give it a try, and I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, in case you didn't know. And yeah, I like the show, man. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm gonna say if the animation was a little different, this could be an easy 10 out of 10. I just like the way they do Peter. Whoever they got playing Peter, though, I believe is Hudson. I don't know his last name, Thames or something like that. But yeah, Hudson, he sounds just like Tom Holland. For a quick second, that's who I thought it was. I had to look like, is that Tom Holland? Like, this dude really sounds like Tom Holland to me. But he did a great job as voice acting Spider-Man. Like, all the voice actors did really great job. But yeah, y'all probably want to know how I feel about the animation. I'm not the biggest fan of the animation, but I will say I like the direction that these first two episodes were going in. In fact, I feel like these first two episodes were written so well that I by the time I got to the end of it, I really didn't care about the animation. And some of the fight scenes looked really good. Um, One gripe I would say I had about this series is the way Spider-Man becomes Spider-Man. So you have it where Doctor Strange opens up a portal. You got some type of symbiont beast right here. I don't know who it is that he's fighting, and a spider comes through that portal and bites Peter, and that's how Peter ends up becoming Spider-Man. Which was I don't know. I just for me, I just wasn't the biggest fan of that. I would have rather it been something where, like originally, he got bitten by a radioactive spider. I mean, and that probably is the case, but I don't like it that it came through a portal and Doctor Strange was involved with it. I wasn't the biggest fan of that. But outside of that, this show has a ton of Easter eggs, like characters that will become something great in the future. Now, I'm really curious to know if they're planning on doing that in this series, or will they just remain normal people throughout the series, because this has been signed for 3 seasons. Like, they already okayed it for season 2 and 3, just based off of the early screenings. How people were saying they liked it from the early screenings. So they may have it where these characters become who they are in the comics. Like this girl right here, Nico, who I really think has a crush on Peter, but she has yet to admit it. But she started on that show. It was a show that came on Hulu. Was it called The Runaways? I believe that was the name on it. Nico was a part of that show, and she's also part of Marvel Comics as well. You can look her up. I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but yeah, if you've seen The Runaways, you know who Nico is, which was a very underrated show for those who haven't seen it. We also got the intro to the Spider-Man. I actually like the song. I see some people saying they don't like it. It's a bit of a rap song. We also get introduced to characters such as we see they did a little swap as far as characters in this universe, and this is right here is Harry Osborn. Yeah, it threw me off too. I just, and to be honest with you, I didn't even think that was a dude. I thought that was a female until he said his name, and I was like, oh shit, that's Harry Osborn. Oh, okay. I was surprised on that. They also did like a switch with Kirk Connors. Turned out to, is a female as well who's missing an arm, and I think her name is Catherine Connors, if I'm not mistaken. But we also have it where Tombstone is in this show as well. Right here, let me see. I pull him up right here. You see that he's good friends with Peter. This is Tombstone before he becomes Tombstone, and you get to see how his life is, and it kind of makes you like really want to watch this show to see what will happen with Tombstone, because in this episode, you get to see how Tombstone life is. You get to see how he's racially profiled throughout the episode as he's walking home. He's on the subway right here. You have it where a lady's about to let her kid, a lady and her son or grandson is about to sit down beside him, but she tells her kid, come on, let's go sit somewhere else, because he's a black guy. Then you have it where he's walking home. The police ends up pulling beside him, riding next to him, and I don't know. I felt like that was it was pretty much racial profile right here. The cops looking at him to see who he is while he's walking home, and he's just a kid coming home from school. Stuff that some of us went through throughout our lives. So that right there, I don't know. I felt like this series is like very relatable in certain areas for me, because when I saw this part, I was just like, yo, damn. I know how that should be sometimes, you know. I mean, granted, you know, I'm older and I haven't experienced it in a while, but I have experienced it when I was in school, situations very similar to this, if not worse, you know, but I'm not going to dive into it. But you see, he get home, you see that he's a really stand-up kid. He's a star football player, but he doesn't want that to define who he is. He wants to be more than that, so he's taking advantage of the school that he's at with Peter. You see that he's a great brother. You see that he's a great son. He's willing to help his mom, you know, fix her car and doing to save money for the household. So I'm very curious what paths are going to happen that's going to lead him to become Tombstone in the future. And then you have this moment right here. It was another touch, and this is all the first episode, which was another touching moment where Spider-Man stops this woman who stole stole money out of this pizza shop. She said she did it because she saw the money sitting there and she's going through tough times. And you have it where Spider-Man talks to the store owner, and he says like, "Yo, I don't think she really is a bad person. She just made a bad choice. Why don't you give her a chance? Like, yo, you know, let's not, you know, have the police arrest her. Let's just give her a warning and see what happens." And you have it where the guy agrees to it, and Spider-Man, you know, takes the web off the lady, and the lady says thank you, and she walks off. And for me, I was like, yo, that's something I don't think I've ever seen Spider-Man do. And I feel like, to me, that kind of normalized him. Like, he was able to see past the black and the white. He was able to see that there's a little bit of gray. Like, granted, what she did was wrong, but the reason why she did it was because she was struggling. And, you know, at the end of the day, Spider-Man is a character that always struggles throughout his life. And we all have moments where we've done bad things that we regret, but we only did it because of the, you know, the situation that we happen to be in at that point in time. So I don't know. I like that they took the time out to do something like that in this episode. And then you have it ending where this episode had a moment that was very similar to Homecoming, Spider-Man Homecoming, where he walks in, his Aunt May is talking to him, and he's like, "Yo, you know, I found this computer in the garbage. Things are looking good." And then you turn out, instead of then it being, what's the guy name? Instead of it being Tony Stark, it happens to be Norman Osborn, which is played by Coleman Domingo. Yeah, Coleman Domingo. You have it where he says he wants Peter to be part of his internship, and that's how the first episode ends. You have it where it goes to episode 2, and you have it where Spider-Man faces off. Of course, I watched the episode, so I gotta take it back. But you have it where Peter's getting ready for this new internship. He's becoming friends with people at school. He's becoming somewhat popular. You know, the Lonnie kid, which becomes Tombstone, befriends him, and you know he happens to be dating the girl that Peter really likes. I believe her name is Pearl. I never heard of who she could be, but we got it where this guy's up here as well. I can't think of what his name is, but in the comics, he is I believe he's called the Thinker. He's not called the Thinker. That's Reed Richards' alter ego. Yeah, he is the Thinker. Reed Richards is the Maker. So yeah, he's called the Thinker, and he's a Fantastic Four villain. So I don't know if he's going to become that in the series, like I was talking earlier. Then we have it where this guy right here. Let me see how I get back to him. This kid right here, he becomes I can't think of what his hero name is, but it's pretty much the kid version of Incredible Hulk. That's who he becomes. And now I'm not sure, like I said, I'm not sure if it's going to happen in the actual series. Honestly, I don't really care about these two characters if they become anybody. And then you have this lady right here who is Kirk Connors of this universe. I do want her to become the Lizard. Only because I think the Lizard is a really dope character, just with everything, you know, from the old school Spider-Man cartoon that came out in, '98. I don't know, I just always been a fan of the Lizard, not to mention how dope the Lizard was in the Spider-Man 2 game. Just the Lizard in general, and the Amazing Spider-Man 1 movie. The Lizard, I thought, was a pretty amazing character, and an unexpected choice. Like, I wasn't even happy when they chose that character as the villain, but then after I watched the movie, I was just like, yo, damn. Pretty cool. But all in all, man, I really enjoyed this episode. We got to see Spider-Man face off against this Pyro-like guy. We had some funny moments when they fought one another, because you had it where this guy actually was burning down the wrong building. He was supposed to be burning down the building on 50th Street or 52nd Street, and he happened to be on 51st Street. Thought that was hilarious. But you have the episode end where you have Norman Osborn finding out that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. So that's where this episode ended off on. We're gonna have to wait and see what happens in the future episodes, but all in all, really enjoyed this episode. It was pretty amazing if you ask me. But I'm curious to hear y'all thoughts, man. Were you able to get past the animation? How do you feel about the show as a whole? Like I said, for me, the story is really good, and that's what's keeping me engaged in watching the series. The animation, I'm not a fan of, but with how good the story is so far, it helps me look past the animation. But let me know y'all take on it down below, and I'll catch y'all in the next one, man. If you want more, let me know in the comment section. Peace.